Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome back to Venting with Us with your girl, Christelle. Let me tell you something. Whew, I am pooped. I am so pooped. I'm running late for the show. I'm running late to do videos. I have so much to do, and we're supposed to be getting this huge ass blizzard of 15 inches, is what the last thing that I heard. And they're already like cautioning everybody out here in New York. And I don't want to shovel snow. I am done with the snow. When I tell you, I'm done with the snow. I don't want to look at snow anymore. I don't want to feel cold anymore. I don't want to be in sweaters anymore. I want to be in shorts. I want to have a tan. I want to be on the beach. I want to be relaxed, in my own comfort. I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, I have given up on life at this point. When I tell you, I literally can't. Like, I look at my closet, and because I'm like not trying to spend too much money because I'm gonna be off for like 2 months. I'm like, I can't live like this. I can't live like this. I'm trying to like save as much money as I can, but I don't want to buy any more sweaters. So excuse my appearance, but this is what we're doing today. Plus, let me tell you, my day was 100% shit show. When I tell you guys, it was a shit show. This is how my day started. Okay, I had a 10:30 a doctor's appointment, right? Which my doctor is not too far. He's about 10 minutes away from me. Nice little Indian man. I love him, Dr. Patel. Kudos to you for taking good care of me. But I go there, right? And I have to get clearance now. For those that are new to the show or already know, I'm going in for surgery next month on March 13th for laparoscopy. I'm getting my cyst done. So for women out there, you should definitely get your body checked if you suffer from cysts. Women get it all the time. Some grow, some don't. They kind of peel off. It's not a big deal. But I'm having that done. And so I needed to get clearance today. So I go to his office, they do their thing, they take their blood. I'm out by 11 o'clock. I'm like, okay, this is good. I can now go on to my next journey, which was to get my car done because poor Goldie, she's killing me. Now, for anybody that knows my feeling, knows my heart, knows my pain. When you take your car to the mechanic, it's like taking your child or your dog to the vet. And you go in for one thing and you're coming out and it's $1 billion later, right? So I try and avoid as much as I can. Like I am, and we all know I'm a scammer. I will find the right person to do this piece on my car, to do that, because I know that they're going to do it cheaper, you know? So I purposely called Mavis, okay? And some people are going to be like, Mavis, oh no. Mavis has been actually really, really, really good today. They hurt the shit out of me today, though. Like, damn, like they spanked me good. Like, and it hurts. Like, I'm still feeling it on my ass. But literally, I called Mavis yesterday. I spoke to this guy named Ernie. Fuck you, Ernie, because you lied to me. That's how pissed I am about this whole situation. But I went in there and I'm sorry, I called him yesterday and I said to him, okay, Ernie, how much is, the brake pads, are going to cost? I just need back ones. That's it. He's like, yeah, we're doing a sale. We have a coupon. It'll cost you about just $140. And I was like, $140 sold. Perfect. Right in my budget. Okay, we got this. We got this. So I figure light bulb. Okay. I go to the doctor. I go to Mavis right after. This shouldn't take that long, right? Because honestly, my brakes were to the point where I was, braking and it was going. That's never a good sign. That's like, you're so close that danger is about to happen. So I love my life. I love you guys. I love my show. I love the things that are happening right now in my life. Not so much on other things, because we're going to get down to it, I promise. But I literally was like, I went in and it was not $140. He was like, well, this, you need this, you need this, you need this. I was like, what the fuck? And then he was like, he got to the point where he got to $1,200. Okay. I literally almost passed out. I said, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. There's no way that I'm paying $1,200 to get all this shit done. And it's only brake pads? Are you fucking kidding me? That's how mad I am right now. I'm cursing up the storm. I was like, no, that's not happening. So he was able to put a coupon in there, a little cheese coupon. He took off the labor for me. He did a lot of other stuff. So he brought it down significantly from the 1,000. I wasn't close to it, but I was still a good amount that I did not want to pay. And it wasn't close to the 140 at all. Okay. So after I left there, because then I also had to be somewhere by 2:30 and it was already 3 o'clock. Mind you, I'm in the mechanic from 11 to 3. My ass hurts from sitting. My phone is dead. It's a whole bunch of complications. Yes, yes, this is the day that I'm having. This is what I'm at today. Um, but he's like, you're not gonna say bye. I'm like, my my friends, I gotta go. I gotta go. Like this is not like good right now. Like I'm on a schedule here. Now, last week's episode, I don't know if I told you. um I've just been really going through it. I've been trying my best to get out of bed and be a little bit more mobile, and put the actress face and motivation on and do videos and do things, just to keep me going. But I'm still in a space where I'm really don't want to talk to people. I just want to like cut the noise out for a little bit. This episode is going to be super hard, but I know I have to get through it. Um, and I've noticed even in the last episode, it's been hard for me to like get thoughts in, and I'm like, So I'm like watching it back, and I'm like, can you please stop saying to myself? So I'm trying my best not to do that, but that's what's happening is that I'm in my head and I don't know how to kind of function yet. And I just it's getting a little bit easier. My girlfriend Selena reached out to me. I love it when she reaches out to me. She's going through her own thing, and I'm trying my best to kind of, be there for her. And it's just so hard to be there for somebody else when you're going through your own stuff, and again, people have it so much more worse than, your problems. But I'm trying to be a good friend, and so I'm trying to learn how to balance everything, if that makes sense. So, but last week's episode, I was talking about my phone, because I completely, and I don't have my phone with me to show you guys, I completely cracked the screen. So when I'm doing videos, I'm like, and I'm trying to watch it back without the cracks. And I'm like, oh my God, how can I have done this? I literally got out of my car and I heard something fall, but I only saw the wire. And I just kept going. And when I went to go reach for my phone, I was like, where's my phone? I had to turn around and I realized I ran over my phone. So I'm like, I'm in a mess. So I went to, I couldn't go to my eyebrow girl. So my eyebrows are like crazy. Um, but I went to my phone people. My girl was there, and congratulations to Alita who just got engaged. That is phenomenal news. Um, but yeah, they were like, we're gonna need the down deposit, and I was like, I can't spend any more money today. I'm so broke, it's coming out of my asshole. Like I can't. Thank God for DoorDash. I got a DoorDash coupon for Christmas, so I used that to treat myself for dinner today. Because if I'm gonna get snowed in, I'm gonna have breaded chicken. Okay, I'm gonna have a little bit of pollo, pechuga de pollo embarazada. So that's what I'm gonna have today. I am so hungry. Like I can smell it from here. I'm like, yummy, 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 yummy. But today's episode is called The Bad Seed. So those that know me and have been on this journey with me for a very long time, um, They know that um, me and my sister don't get along at all. She is not, she's my half sister. You know, we've always had a really bad relationship with each other. Hold that thought. I'm so thirsty. I'm sorry. But we've always had a really not a great relationship with each other. We've had ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And I think with this situation with my mom, that kind of what is the saying? Oh, I hate when there's nobody here with me. The straw that broke the camel's back. There we go. Yeah, I got one. I finally got it in my brain. It was the straw that broke the camel, my camel, the camel's back. So basically, what's been happening is that my mom was supposed to be cremated. This was her wishes. She wanted to be cremated and put into Calvington, which is a military cemetery out here where my grandfather and my grandmother reside. And they're in the mausoleum. The whole, even with them, it was all in agreement that them three were always going to be in the mausoleum. So what I what I did was I went back to the original funeral home that my grandmother was cremated from because they were cheap and they were very affordable. With the money that was donated for her, that was given to me from you guys, which I appreciate. Thank you so much. It helped, but it didn't pay for everything, which is fine. You know, no worries. You know, like I'm not stressing over it. The fact that you guys just donated the amount that you did, I am so grateful because I didn't honestly, I was not even expecting $20. So I'm forever, ever, ever grateful. And when anybody else is in that situation, I'm always going to remember my situation and make sure that I do the right thing. And those are great lessons to learn in life when you're in those situations because you're like, oh, I was in that situation. I'm going to donate because I understand, I get it. So I went to Maloney's funeral service and we're doing the paperwork. I'm filling out the forms, giving all of the information. They asked me if I had siblings. I said yes, my sister. They say to me that, okay, well, we're going to need her signature in order to move forward with the cremation. That right there was, I wish I would have never had said that I had a sister, because I knew she wasn't going to sign the papers. And I told the guy, I said, she's not going to sign the papers. Her and my mom have such a bad relationship. Like she hasn't spoken to my mother in over 20 years. It's that bad. When she was in the hospital, when she first went in and she had to get the feeding tube put into her, she literally, instead of asking how my mother was doing in the hospital, she asked where her father was buried, which is the craziest thing for me, that somebody is so focused on that because they don't know whether or not if their parent is going to die and that they need this information at this time. Like, well, you've had all of this time to get all this information. You're asking me to ask her now. So I was extremely furious over this. This was about a year ago. No, actually, this was more than a year ago. Um, so we had stopped speaking after that. She then started texting me like for my birthday, for the holidays, and I can't remember if it was Christmas or if it was my birthday. I can't remember exactly what it was. She was, oh, I know what it was. I was in, this is when I went to the hospital and I ended up finding out that I was going to end up needing surgery because this was last summer because I was having shortness of breath and I have asthma. So, I didn't know what was going on with me. And my nephew was doing this project for school about the family tree. And She's like, I don't know why, you we're not speaking. This is, but I need this information about grandma and grandpa. And I was reading this text message and I told her, I was like, I honestly, I'm in the hospital right now. I don't have time for this, right? And if you don't understand why we're fighting, look back on your text message, your tone, how empathetic. You guys are not going to get me today. Empathetic you are. Like, it takes a super cold person to not even have emotion at all. No type of, I don't know, like feelings or anything. You're like, I don't even understand how your husband is married to you, knowing how you are. And he says it, you're not a very empathetic person. And I've been there when he said it. So for me, it was kind of just like, how do you not know like what you said and what you did? That's not my problem at this point. I have so much responsibilities that what you need right now isn't it, it's not valid. It's not validated to me right now. So needless to say, I kept going forward. I never heard from her after that. So when the funeral director guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, I got to get in contact with her. I specifically told him, I'm like, she's not going to sign those papers. And he was like, no, 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 no. I've been through this with another family just recently, and it was a big whole thing, and they never spoke, and they argued and whatnot. And she ended up signing the papers. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We got this. So I know exactly what to say. I know exactly what to do. Mind you, I have already now paid for all of this. Okay. So I said, okay. So I leave the funeral. I'm headed home. I get a text message from her. She had a very nasty text message saying that, oh, you must have not realized that you were going to need my signature. Well, first of all, yes, I did, because I was the one that gave him the information, you idiot. So for you to even start a conversation, not saying, hey, the funeral place called me. I'm so sorry that this happened. What happened? She doesn't say any of this. Her first exact words were, just that. So that already rubs me the wrong way. And she said, I'm not signing the papers. So now I'm pissed and I'm driving and I'm like, this motherfucker. I can't believe him. I told him she was not going to fucking sign those papers. I fucking told. This is exactly what I said. This is my emotion. I have to give you the reenactment. I'm going to put the actress in me. So I call him up and I'm like, listen, you fuck. She's not signing the papers. I was so pissed. And he was like, his name was James. Poor James. No, fuck James. We don't like James. So James was like, I can't believe it. When I left and I got off the phone with her, she said she was going to sign it. I said, I told you specifically not to have her call me. And I told you not to tell her what happened and more details and everything, because it was just going to be a shit show and she was not going to sign these papers. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's not going to sign the papers. We went a whole week with my mom sitting in storage, okay? And it was probably more than a week, because now it's February 21st. My mother passed away January 27th. So just about a week ago is when like everything was kind of settled out. So that's a long time to have somebody in storage though. I could not focus. I'm still trying to get through with the show. My show is collapsing. I'm losing followers now. Things I needed a break from everything because I felt like I was just drowning. So if anybody's out there, please follow the show again, because now I need followers. I need followers. Even if you don't watch the show, just follow the show. Subscribe. I'm trying to get all my numbers up. I just got them back on YouTube. Thank God. And on TikTok, because that was a nightmare. But it is what it is. That was the sacrifice. I really didn't care about the numbers or anything. at all. I still kind of don't, but I do see that the number, I lost a lot of followers on Spotify. So if anybody's following on Spotify, follow me. So, but we were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I did not like the way that Maloney had handled my mom's situation. So I was like, you know what? Because you guys are not dealing with this properly, I want to move her to a different place. So I literally went to another funeral home, and they were amazing. They gave memorial cards, like hands down. I wish I would have just went there before I went to Maloney's, and I felt it. The day that it happened, I felt everything in my body. It was like, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. But everything happens all in fast motion. That it's just like, okay, I can't think. All right, let's just do this. So they tell me, okay, what we're going to do is you need to pay another fee, another $500, okay, to have them release your mom over to us. I said, I will pay it. Fine. I put it on my credit card. I said, fuck it. At this point, like, I don't want to be involved with them anymore. I'm so upset of how they handled the situation. I know that she's going to be taken care of over here. So I pay the $500 with Maloney to have them released. He gets there. That motherfucker, James, okay, he tells them, he's like, yeah, well, either way, did you know that her sister needs to sign up? Like, why did you feel the need to tell him that? Because then he called me and was like, oh, well, I didn't know about this situation. And I was like, well, you weren't supposed to know about this situation. They fucked up. I paid them their money. They got a good amount of money out of me. And so I called him and I was like, well, I don't understand why you told him that. It wasn't your place to tell him that situation. And they said, well, we didn't know. We figured, that Jasmine would have to know about what's going on and how your mom's being moved. It's not your place. And regardless of what, I wasn't moving her to be, a dick to her. I was moving her because I didn't like your service anymore. So that does not sit well with me. So my sister ended up telling them the new place, which is called Fabrizio's. They were like, well, no, she said she refused to have them take my mom. And I was pissed because I'm the one that is ditching out all of this fucking money. So the next day, now this is Monday, that was Sunday that happened. Now Monday rolls around, Maloney calls me, and there's James once again calls me, and he's like, well, what are we doing here? Because it's going to cost you $200 a day to keep your mom in storage. And we can't do anything. I said, well, this is your problem. You created this problem. I didn't create this problem. I told you she was not going to sign the papers. So you better call her and tell her she needs to give you a credit card until she signs these papers. I have no idea what you're doing. So they were like, well, we spoke to her and she said that, no, this is the only leverage we have. Leverage of what? Leverage of what? To keep my mom's body there? Now, and I told him, I was like, what doesn't make sense to me? For someone who has not spoken to my mother in over 20 years, okay, has never, now I can understand if she contributed money, if there was, communication there. She never asked about my mom. She never helped. Even when I told her, after my grandmother had passed, I told her, I was like, I don't want to go through this alone again. I don't want to deal with this at all by myself again. And she was like, no, don't worry, whatever you need. I got it. So, and that never happened. And I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew it was never going to happen. So for me, I'm so angry and I'm so pissed that you're being such a dick and you're being so spiteful that the relationship that you had with this woman, that you don't want to sign papers so that way she can rest in peace. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me and it's not about her. It's about my mom resting in peace and having her final wishes be done and settled. And the fact that you're holding up this whole entire process is baffling to me. So I don't get it. The funeral director was like, well, we can't get involved. Well, you just made yourself involved in this. So I don't know what to do. So now $200 is racking up every single day until I finally was like, you know what? I can't deal with this. So he ended up calling me again, and he was like, we still haven't got in contact with your sister. What are we doing here? Because now these storage fees are racking up. And I told him, I was like, I'm not paying the storage fees. I refuse to pay these storage fees. And I said, you know what? Why don't we just do this? This, as much as I don't want to do this, I don't want my mom to suffer anymore. She suffered from the age of 21 with this disease. It's not fair to her for someone who had multiple sclerosis at the age of 21 all the way up until 64 when she had a heart attack, because my mom passed away from a heart attack, to continue to suffer even in death. That is the most disrespectful, the most hurtful thing that you could possibly do to somebody. And it's not fair. It's not fair. I knew I was going to cry. So I said to them, I said, take me off next of kin and put my sister. So that way my mom could get cremated. But I want my money back. Because it's not fair that if I'm removing myself and my sister now is gonna have to come to New York, because she doesn't live in New York, to get these ashes. I'm not gonna know what she's doing with these ashes. I will never give her permission to put her in Calvington at all. And she needs my signature. She needs my signature, and she needs my approval for that, because I was the one that was left in charge for that. And I know some people are going to be like, well, now you're being petty because now you're not granting that permission. But at this point, it's, for me, we should have never even gotten to this point. So now you're going to have to figure out what is your next step. So put her next of kin, but I want my money back. They said, no, we're not giving you your money back. This is all paid for. So I was like, well, no, you don't buy a pair of shoes and you don't get the shoes. No, that's not the way this works. You're not going to play with my money. And now the Bronx Puerto Rican girl is going to come out and I will fuck you up. You're not going to play with my money. Okay. So my money, that was not even my money. It was given to me. Okay. That was a blessing. So no, you're not going to play with this money. So I literally, now let me tell you, I live and die off my debit cards and my credit cards. So when I had to call my bank, I put a stop payment on all of the charges for the funeral. Because now what would happen is, if she hasn't done it yet, I don't know. Because I don't know, she hasn't called me. There's no contact. So honestly, I don't know if my mom is still at the funeral place. But when she goes to pick up the ashes, now she's going to have to pay the balance because now the stop payment is on it. So that's not my problem at the end of the day. I was going to get my money either way. So there's still a dispute going on with the money. So I'm assuming that she has not paid for anything. They have not asked her. They better not call me, because I'm telling you right now, I will continue to stop this payment until the day that I die. Okay. And then by that point, whoever is in my life will get my money, because I'm not releasing this money. So we basically have funds that are frozen that I can never touch, which is very annoying. So so that's kind of the journey that I'm on right now. So if I don't reach out to anybody, please don't take it personal. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm going through a lot, and I'm trying to stay strong. I'm trying to, go day by day, not feeling good. I'm so glad in 2 weeks I'm going to be off for a little bit, so at least then I can kind of decompress But I do appreciate everybody, the nursing home, and everyone that has been still keeping touch with me. Again, it's not you guys. It's just I'm just trying to navigate these emotions. I'm tired of being sad all the time and depressed all the time. Um, I don't want to get out of bed. It's hard. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure it out every single day how somebody could be like this. Um, but I'll never speak to her again. That's garbage. It's garbage. That's that for me. I wanted to end the show on a bit of a high note to make you guys giggle and get myself giggling. So my mom had this on her door. I took this I took this off her door. I want to read it to you. Um, and how funny this is because my mother was such a comedian, and that's who I get it from. I get that comedian side from my mom. Um, but this is complete bullshit. And I remember us going through this together, and we were cracking up. And she was like, I don't know. So I'm gonna read it to you before we end the show. It says Jackie on top, and it says, "Hi, my name is Jacqueline Esteba." First of all, my mother's name is not Jacqueline; it's Jackie or Jacqueline. My nickname is Jackie, so that was right. I was born on March 14th, 1961, in Monastery Hospital in Manhattan. I also grew up in Manhattan. She did not grow up in Manhattan. It was like I don't know where she got that from. But okay, we're just going to keep it going. I can speak English and Spanish, which was true. My mom's name is Gloria, and she was born in Puerto Rico, and she worked in a factory. My dad's name is Peter, and he was born in New York, and he was a bus driver. I have a brother named Peter and a sister named Yvette. When I was growing up, I had a dog named Spot. No, she didn't. My grandparents hated pets. I was lucky that I even was allowed to get a dog. Like that is not true at all. I don't even know how she even came up with that. And where did she get the name Spy from? I don't know, but that is not true. And I asked her this. I said, "Who the hell? What dog? What did it look like?" She's like, "I don't know. I just don't know." I'm like, was it a female or a male? Like, what kind of dog was it? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, you're just making shit up. It's like you're making shit up in your own bio. Like, how? No, that is not correct information. Whatever. My first home was also in Manhattan. No, we lived in the Bronx. We did not. We lived a little bit in when she was growing up. She lived a little bit in Manhattan. And my grandfather moved them to Brooklyn, and then they finally did move to the Bronx in Anthony. So and she never owned a house. We always rented. Like, what did this house look like? How many bedrooms was in there? That is not true. When I was in high school, my favorite subject was math, which is true. That's I loved math so much that I joined the math club. I don't think that that's true. First of all, I don't think that my mom was ever in a club, okay, because she was boy crazy her whole entire life. So no, I don't think that she was in a math club. But during my teenage years, I loved playing handball. No, she didn't. Okay, no, she didn't. She did not play handball. Okay, no, that's not true. After high school, I went to New York Columbian Presbyterian College. That is true. My first date with my spouse was at a restaurant. First of all, she was never married. Who is this person? I want to know because I know she was never married. She was always single. No, she was she was the girl with 1,000 brides. Always what is it? Let me see now. I'm gonna get this messed up. Always wait. Always a maid of honor, never a bride or whatever it is. Whatever. That's who my mother was. Okay. I have a daughter named Crystal. My most favorite memory, here we go. My most favorite memory is when she told me I was going to be, oh, when they told me I was going to be a grandma and holding the babies when they were little. I don't have no kids. She could have been talking about my sister. She's not included in the bio. And I do not have no children. No, my children were her and my grandparents. No, 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 no. I worked for a hospital where I was a secretary. She didn't. She never worked at a hospital. She did work for a company. It was a billing company. She did billing. I do remember that because I remember going to work with her one day and I touched the little computer keyboards and I fucked shit up. So yeah, I remember that. But I don't recall that it was in a hospital. I worked there until I retired 5 years ago. Bitch, you did not work 5 years ago. Like you've been in a nursing home for over 23 years. No, that is not true. You lying. This is all a lie. A place that I always wanted to travel was to Europe, which that's true. Finally, I have been to Puerto Rico and Chicago. I don't know if that's true. When I go to different places, I like to listen to all types of music, but my favorite is rap. What? That is not true. I will no, that is not true either. She really loved like techno music, very like old school 70s, like 80s music, like Madonna, just all types of 80s music. That's what I would put on for her. She loved those type of music, Lionel Richie, Luther Vandross. She loved that type of music. It was definitely not rap. You give me one rapper. Give me one rapper. And one more thing about me is my favorite color is blue. And that is true. And it says Jacqueline. It says Jacqueline still at the bottom. So um I don't know if you guys can see it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. Next week, we have two great episodes coming up. Next week, we're going to talk about Top Model, the Tyra Banks documentary that came out on Netflix. Woo! I can't wait to get down to the nitty gritty for this one. And we also have another documentary, The Real Scream Murders, that's also on Netflix. So I hope you guys enjoyed spending this moment with me. I know I'm like 6 minutes past, but I love you guys. Stay blessed. If you know anybody that is not following the show, tell them about it. Let's get some subscribers. Let's get some more followers. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. And for everybody that's out there, really, really quickly, be safe in this blizzard. Oh, my God, 15 inches. My body's not going to be able to take it. All right. Love you guys. Bye. See you next week.